about this, even Aaron, on a previous podcast, where I think you're going to start seeing a divide of like, I don't think you're going to see like the IBJJF like disappear or like
No, not at
big
all.
organizations
No.
like that. They're going
No.
to be around and they're going to play a very important role, but you're going to see a big divide, and you'll see a lot of people like starting to get momentum, and like they're doing a lot of IBJJF events. They're doing well, they're medaling, they're winning big tournaments. And then you're going to see like people like that, then they start to transition to a lot of those bigger super fight shows, and making kind of like almost like that's like the amateur-ish side of things. And then you have like the pro events,
well, it kind of is just based
selling pay-per-views and all that fun stuff.
To say that it's amateur isn't even an insult, because it's, I mean, largely amateur and pro is about money, right? So it's like,
yeah, that's what I mean by that. Like,
yeah,
I don't mean IBJJF events are amateur or anything.
Oh, no, I know. But when people listen, they think it. But yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I don't know, this notion that the IBJJF is going to go away, or Gordon Ryan saying that like the gi is going to die in 10 years. I mean, I just think the sport's going to grow, and I think it's good. Like, I don't understand why one has to eclipse the other. Like, if you want to do the train in the gi, then train in the gi. I think all it does is it just opens the sport up, and it gives submission wrestling, I think, a bit more credit than it's been getting in the past. And I don't see a problem with that. I don't think it has to. I do think it's just more viewer friendly. So I think probably for the casual person or people that don't know what jiu-jitsu is, it's more accessible, especially in a submission only kind of context, because it's easier to understand, right? So, but yeah, I think it's cool to see it growing like that. I think it's just great for the sport all around,
Yeah, 100%. Like we were saying before, there's no way that and this is my humble opinion, but there's no way that the gi will ever disappear. Because I think that notion of like, oh, one has to completely be gone, you're gonna find more people maybe being attracted to the no gi, but that's just because that's a preference of an individual. And you might have schools that'll just be, hey, we're just a no-gi school and this is all we do. Whereas you're going to get the gi programs because some people want that tradition. They want that,
sure,
whether it being easier teaching kids classes or whatever, that whole idea of like, not necessarily discipline, but some sort of form of order or something like that. Right. So I don't think as far as like as a market on the general public, you're going to get rid of the gi program at all. I think that'll always be there for a sense of tradition, but also kind of like there's just like some people just go towards that. Like I've always noticed, like even for myself, like I like no gi, but I prefer to train in the gi. That's just me. Yeah. I'm just more of a traditionalist that way. Where some individuals have trained in the gi before, and then they transitioned out, and they're like, no, I'm just no gi now.
I think, and even me, like I've leaned more towards no-gi, but like, I don't know, it's like sometimes I like to, I get bored with it, or I just feel like, I miss training. And I think they both have merit. And I think people are drawn to tradition. And I think people like kind of there's a bit more of that, like the status symbol in the gi, in my opinion. Like people like to, you wear your rank and you represent it all the time. And I think no-gi, it's like, it's a little less traditional and it's less about that. To a degree. So I think people are drawn to that. And yeah, I think training in both is great. Like I've always said, I think regardless of which one you're drawn to, I think they both have benefits, so I don't see it disappearing. I think if anything, there's just going to be, we're just seeing the two branch off a little more. And yeah, you're going to get, it could be the kind of thing too, where no-gi tends to be more of a younger person's game. Like if I want to train for the rest of my life, I don't know that I could do no-gi all the time. Like it's faster. It tends to draw a younger crowd. It's more associated with wrestling, MMA. It's like, I'm 43 almost. It's like, I don't know that I could be doing no-gi like that when I'm 50, 55, like maybe, but
I like if you get an alternative needle to what you've
got
previously.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Not the Bill Gates needle, the other one.
Not the AstraZeneca needle.
Not the AstraZeneca. That's a
needle.
That's a whole other ball game right there. But I mean, even if you're on that stuff too, I mean, aging is not kind to any of us at some point. So
no, I do think, isn't.
And it's like, yeah, I think they both have benefit. And so I think Gordon's statement about it dying is just a little bit self-centered, because he doesn't like it. Right. So he's not really in that world very much anymore. So, he's, I think he's right in terms of, it's just going to be a bit more of a spectator friendly thing, and maybe it'll allow people to make a living more because maybe it can draw more casual viewers that will generate more revenue. I don't know, but I think Gordon would like to believe that's the case, but I don't see that happening. You know, it's like anything. I think these things go through trends as well, right? Like maybe no-gi's hot now, and God only knows in 5-10 years, maybe gi will blow up in a different way that we didn't see coming or whatever. You know, it's always about, I think a lot of it has to do with the athletes at the time, right? If you get like some crazy, you know, polarizing figure in gi, maybe he'll do the same thing that Gordon Ryan's kind of done with no-gi. I don't know. You know what I mean?